Hi friends, time for our new design. And this month's inspiration comes from snakeskin. And not any snakeskin, but when you view it from an angle, you'll see this green mamba. I'm trying to remember what snake it was, but from an angle it creates these rows, as you'll see here. And this is the inspiration for this month's design. So if it freaks you out, don't look at that image, look at this image. And that is kind of like a breakdown of the design and what it's going to look like. So here's how we're going to quilt it. We're going to work in waves and channels, and they are not set at specific distances, and they are not echoing each other necessarily. So you can have intermittent or different frequency of waves. And first of all, we're going to start by creating the wave. So we're going to start anywhere you want. Just want to make sure I have a nice fat pen so it's visible. And we're going to go do a curve, travel in the side. And first of all, we're going to offset this one. So we can create a narrow channel to set the sections apart from each other. Then we're going to travel down a little bit and we're going to form another curve. But do you see, I don't have to use the same frequency. Okay, and now when I'm on this end, I'm now going to do the infill. So these are just like oblong ovals basically, and you'll see they don't have to be perfect. So we're going to go over half. So we do each one 1.5 times. You can go figure of 8, in other words, clockwise and then counterclockwise, or you can do them all in one direction. Counterclockwise is my favorite. So each one I do 1.5 times. You can make them as fat or as skinny as you want them. And we just want to stretch them so that they fit inside in between those waves of ours. Okay. So that way we are completing a channel, a round. But in order to do that, we need to have those boundary waves first. So now on to the second one. We already have our first curve. Travel in the ditch, echo that one so it sets it apart for us. Travel in the ditch, and now we can change this curve up completely. So once we have these two boundary lines, we fill in the scales basically, or the P's if you want to think about it like that. Okay, and your choice which way around you want to do this. And however long, skinny, fat, or you want to make them, stretch them so that they fill the space. Not a difficult one. It's really not an issue if your traveling is not exactly on top of one another. Remember, everything comes with practice. What you do need to keep your mind upon is mindful drawing first of all, and then mindful stitching so that we can try and control that stitch length. Now I have my boundaries and I can fill in my scales. Let's make some of them that's really more skinny. It creates beautiful texture, a really nice flow, can have an interesting effect on your quilt. And you don't always have to think of snakes when you do this, so you can use it on a baby quilt. Think of peas in an irregular pod. You can, even if you want, do just your curve channels first, or your waves, if we call it that, and maybe then change thread color to stitch your scales or peas. And that can also create a very interesting effect. And that's how you go. Enjoy!